All right, let me give you have a seat. The walls are intentionally passive. They are 16 inches thick, and the R value is double the building code at the time of building in 2010. So they are R60, and the wall is 2x6, 16 on center for the supporting bearing wall on the outside, and then there is a 6-inch space between that, and then a 2x4 interior wall, which is strapped first with 6mm poly for the vapor barrier, and then 2x2s horizontal, so that for the exterior walls, any of the exterior plumbing or wiring doesn't puncture the vapor barrier. And then that entire cavity is filled with cellulose insulation manufactured here in Nova Scotia. The windows are triple glazed, a hardy coat, and they're fiberglass frames, which is better than wood or vinyl for insulation. They're warmer because they have more air.
Tell me about these doors again. You said they're 80 pounds a piece?
The doors are 80 pounds a piece. They're 1.5 inches thick, solid. I dried all the 2-inch lumber myself in the mechanical room. They're finished back and front, and the motif is forest and the tree. And they're finished in waterborne varnish, 3 coats.
So on these doors, you've got kind of a list of, I guess, the stones that you use?
Yeah, those are the stones. The top one is the front, and the back one is the back. These hinges I carried from China. They're stainless steel. They have a coating on them, and they're ball bearing. So there's 3, because these doors, as I mentioned before, are 80 pounds a piece with lever handles. So if you're carrying something, you can just open it with your knee. The reason these screws, which are GRK from Germany, are proud is because in order to catch the spruce framework in behind, I needed something that was 2.5 inches. And the closest you can get to that is a 3-inch finishing nail, and the head is as big as this. These star screws. And so I thought, all of that filling with putty, and I'm never going to match it properly. So I just got these, which are brass colored, and it took me a while to get used to them, but I'm okay with it now.
You mentioned earlier the screws.
Yeah, they're 20, we call them 24 karat gold plated, and they're left over from the loudspeaker. And this is shell carving. It's a little bit of Nova Scotia maritime theme. I try to, and same with the interior and exterior of the house. It's a 2-tone maritime theme, which was very popular in Nova Scotia 100 years ago.
Yeah.
A lot of the old homes were done like that.
This is the listening room.
All the ceiling moldings in the dining room, the living room, and the vestibule I've made, and that's just 1/2-inch gyprock.
Yeah, and you were saying the wall separation you did, it's like...
It's 2 layers, 2 layers of 1/2-inch drywall, and it's separated on all the interior walls by 1/2-inch sound channel. And the reason for that is to help isolate sound transmission from one room to another. So it ends up being a very quiet house. And sometimes I have to really go outside, and is it raining? Because I can't even hear the rain pittering on the roof, the steel roof. That's because the attic has 24 inches of cellulose.
Yeah.
That's our 80 in the attic. And the floor is just 7/16 cork, made in Toronto, designed in Toronto by a bunch of guys, and it's sitting on 6mm poly, which sits directly on the concrete pad. There is no in-floor heating, it's not necessary. And even in the depths of February, you can walk on this floor and it's not cold. The other benefit of cork is it as a natural insecticide, and any creepy crawlies that come in underneath the door sweeps, they don't last very long. This is the firewood closet in here. And this is like a really tiny stove. but it works really good. And the beauty of this stove is it's got one elbow out the back, which leaves you the roof to do any cooking or reheating, and it goes straight up. It's all insulated, stainless steel chimney all the way out. And I burn very hot. Every time I burn hot, and burns out any sediment in the pipe. Okay, that is taking the hot air off the wood stove, going into the HVAC system, heat recovery ventilator, and is distributed throughout the whole house. This is a 200 amp panel, and there's lots of breakers still open. There's nothing like this whole bank here. There's nothing being used here. This is a generator panel. This is the generator plug outside and a cord. Water softener, water filter, and this is a continuous flow through well. This is the inline duct heater. It's 3 kilowatt. And that 2-inch pipe coming down, that's for the vacuum, central vac. Okay, I never bought this system, but it's all wired, and I think there's 3 outlets in the house, which is plenty for a 40-foot hose. The house is faced due south. That's due south, not magnetic south, but and the whole idea is that as the sun is moving this time of year, if it's sunny, which that you're capturing it once you hold it. And the beauty of a house like this is, as long as the sun is shining, doesn't matter how cold it is outside, you don't need any auxiliary heat inside. You can turn the circulation fans off.